I'd like to welcome everybody and start with a pledge and start the meeting. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Supervisor Lamb?
Here.
Deputy Supervisor McEachran?
Here.
Councilman Bogardus?
Here.
Councilwoman Colligan? Here. And Councilman O'Connor was excused.
Anybody that's signed up to speak? Good. Somebody want to approve the minutes from last meeting? Make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
I'll make the motion to approve the pending minutes.
Oh, I thought you said.
That was him. You can still second it.
That's what you said.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is it person?
I think he's right in the back.
What's her name?
His name is Field Horn.
We have a gentleman here, Field Horn. He's going to give us a little history of our town. Give him a few minutes, and thank you for coming.
About 5 years ago, someone in the Midwest sent to the Historical Society of Saratoga Springs, which is in the casino in Congress Park, a composition book filled with pencil from the year 1910. They didn't know anything about it as a year 17. I am retired and a volunteer archivist at the Historical Society. And when I got a call a year ago from a young man from Shushan looking for an internship for his college, I realized that that little book would be an ideal project. It is the diary of a farm woman from Mountain Road from the year 1910. She filled the book, she wrote every day. Her name was Mary Gaylor Raymer. Obviously, Gaylor is a familiar name, Raymer in the West Side. This young fellow, whose mother is the executive director of Cafe Lena, is in his second or third year of Berea College in Kentucky, and he's probably the most talented young historian I've ever run into. He does better than I do most of the time. He's written an essay about the diary, about how it demonstrates the shift from an agricultural economy to a market economy, specifically the town of Wilton. I suspect it's going to be published in a statewide and nationwide journal. We have arranged for him to speak at the casino on Thursday, I hope I get this right, Thursday, May 21st, and we hope to co-sponsor this with the town of Wilton. It will be the Historical Society, the Saratoga County Historical Society for Goldston Spa, and its roundtable, which is an active group. So that's all I have to tell you. If you have any questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, I will keep your town historian fully apprised, and we'll get into the Wilton report and so on.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have a resolution in support of Bill S-7280 for first responders, New York State bail and recovery. This is a bill that Senator Tedesco is supporting, and I'm going to let the town clerk read it, because, I'd like to get out of here. It'd be an hour if I read it.
Whereas in the final stages of adopting its fiscal year 2020 budget, the state of New York enacted sweeping changes to criminal justice procedure laws, including elimination of judicial discretion to set bail in a wide variety of cases, including those involving dangerous crimes, and the imposition of stringent discovery mandates for police and prosecutors. And whereas under these bail reform measures inserted into the budget bill, the crimes for which judges can no longer set bail include those that result in the injury and property loss of innocent people, as well as those involving making a terroristic threat, promoting child pornography, and endangering the welfare of a vulnerable elderly person, releasing those accused of such back into the midst of crime victims and their families. And whereas the discovery mandates imposed by the state of New York require that police and prosecutors turn over voluminous trial-related materials to defend attorneys within 15 days of arraignment, creating a paperwork mandate which cannot be met in all cases, and which will inevitably result in the inability to prosecute cases against dangerous criminal defendants in some cases. And whereas among the unintended consequences of these sweeping changes, which were enacted without public hearings, consultation with law enforcement, the judiciary, or crime victim stakeholders group, is a risk that home address information for firefighters, EMS workers, and other first responders will be disclosed to criminal defendants in cases where they become witnesses as a result of first responder duties. And whereas Senator James Tedesco has introduced S-7280, a bill to require that the confidential home addresses of first responder witnesses be maintained in cases, and urges passage of S-7280, and be it resolved that the Wilton Town Board supports Senator Tedesco's bill to protect firefighters, first responders, and EMS workers from home address discovery in criminal cases, and urges the passage of S-7280. And be it resolved that the town of Wilton supports the amendment of the New York State's bail and discovery reforms through the legislative process, which includes public hearings and consultation with law enforcement and the judiciary, so that a fair set of reform measures can be enacted for the benefit of crime victims, law enforcement, and public safety.
To make it easy, like if the fire department or ambulance volunteers go to a shooting or stabbing, we've had both car accidents, they have to be a witness, and all of a sudden their personal information's out there. And I think we owe it to our volunteer firemen, ambulance workers to support this measure with the senators, because they do enough with their drills, their training, going to calls. I don't think they need another burden. Because I was a fireman myself, a fireman for 45 years, so I know how important they are and what they do. Well, if somebody would make a motion, we adopt that, or if you got any other questions about it, or if anybody from the audience has any questions.
I fully support this measure. Again, being a firefighter and being involved with witnessing some stuff on crime, actually EMS calls ending up being crime scenes, and we're called to give depositions in regards to what we see when we first walk in. I know there's a case that just happened over this weekend down in, I believe it was Suffolk County in Long Island, where the MS-13, I believe it is, the notorious violent gang, witnesses to that incident that took place, their names were released to the defense attorneys, and then within days, the witnesses were murdered. So I fully support this bill, and I would like to make the motion that we accept it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Bring this up next. The seats. All right, we have some opening for alternates on our planning zoning board. Motion.
I'd like to make a motion to fill
These
the
are alternate positions.
alternate position for zoning to Jay Riffenberry, if it doesn't affect your schedule.
If it does, we'll find you another job. Flexible hours.
My pleasure.
You want to do them all in one or separate?
You want to do them, yeah, do them separate.
Separate?
Somebody want to second that motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Don't do the...
You haven't got
No,
that.
I didn't know that these were actually coming up for appointments. I thought it was just discussion earlier.
We might as well fill
Yeah,
them.
Jay wasn't sure either.
We'll fill them. If they want to jump off, that's fine. You're on it for now. You want to jump off, you can jump off, but, and then, so that passed?
Is everybody in favor?
Yes. Aye.
Aye. Pass.
Easy.
We're just going to tell Dave.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Michael Coleman on the planning board as an alternate.
You want to make a motion, second? It's your motion?
That's my motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are you sure on Dean?
Yeah,
Put him
no.
on.
No.
All right. And and
We want to fill those other
Yeah.
two spots, and that's the time to fill them when they ain't here.
Yeah.
well, we can't. But we'll definitely keep them on.
Maybe next month.
Maybe next.
And then third, I'd like to make a motion to add Dean, or I'm sorry, sorry, Brian Wygard to Wilton Park and Rec. He left? Well, he's on it. If it passes,
Even though, somebody want to second that?
hurry up.
Aaron got it.
Aaron seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Dean, you want to wait?
Yeah, we'll wait. We don't know Dean.
Aaron?
No. he-
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, is he
Just
done?
came up 10 minutes ago. Yeah. Yeah.
Has anybody got anything on the committee reports?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
We do have, I have met with Gavin Park, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in the park this year. They're going to be closing down a couple of the ball fields in Lake Avenue and East Side, so a lot of these teams are going to be coming to Gavin Park. So one of the things I was told is they're having a lot of trouble with a couple of the fields. I was told for the first time that they're actually dangerous, so hearing that, we want to get on that right away to get these fields up to par. There's some kind of dip coming off of the infield. As a ball rolls out, the ball hits a
What was
path.
that called, Mrs. Robertson, what he said, a slide?
Pardon?
Mark brought that up the other night. What do you call it, a slide or something?
A dip?
Yeah, I thought it was
Something
beginning with an
strange,
S,
but
yeah.
at any rate,
It's dangerous, it's dangerous.
Mark's gonna try to get some of the labor from the guys from these other parks in town who are probably gonna be out of work during this playground refurbishing, so to get them over to our fields and start working on them to get them up to, because, from what I'm told, the fields in Gavin Park were second to none years ago, and they're starting to go downhill, and, we're starting to hear about it, and I'd like to get that back to the way it was. So we're gonna be working hard on that, and,
Can I ask why the fields on the outside being closed?
they're refurbishing, they got a grant. New York State gave a grant to playgrounds in the area, Dorothy Nolan, the east side, and they're gonna be modernizing all these fields, and they have to do it this year, or they lose the grant money. And it's a substantial, it's a huge grant, and they don't wanna lose it, so in order to, what they've decided to do is try to revamp one field at a time, so that way the kids can still play on certain fields at certain times on East Side and then on Lake Ave, and between the three fields, Gavin and them too. Hopefully, Wilton Youth and Saratoga Baseball can continue having a season for the kids. But it is going to put a burden on the park this particular year, because it has to be spent this year.
Can I ask a question, John? Does the city oversee that, or the school district oversee that?
This is the
It's
school district.
School district.
Yeah, it's their great outdoors plan.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Dorothy Nolan's done. But now they're
Well, they were
hitting
gonna
little
do some
pieces
more.
at different
I
schools.
thought they were gonna do some more behind Gavin Park though, because that's part of Dorothy Nolan.
That's part
Part
of
of the school district.
School
Everything
district,
beyond the tree line,
Right.
yeah.
To the gravel road.
They were gonna pave something back there, I thought.
They were looking to pave the road.
Right, so,
Pave the road.
East side and west side.
I think they're holding off on that.
The west side, well, yeah, the varsity baseball field that's at east side is getting a big renovation. I didn't know anything was happening to the youth fields. That'll be interesting. And the skate park.
right.
There's a lot of work going in there, and then on the west side, some of the elementary schools, Maple Avenue, the turf going in at the high school. You can go to the school website and see the master outdoor plan to see kind of what's happening at each facility.
For Gavin, I'm sure we could maybe find some industry/organizations that could volunteer, maybe donate some of their time to.
It's gonna be to refurbish that. Mark's saying we gotta bring in quite a bit of fill, sod, but I'd like to see them back to second to none myself. I mean,
They will be, they will be.
we pump that was it from our committee.
Councilman, you got some in court? It is coming good.
It's coming along. The outside is done. They just spec'd out when they took the previous signage off the side of the building, it really didn't go well with the current building. So there is a plan to update and upgrade the signage that's on the side of the building. There is a contemporary picture out there right now for it. The holding cell is just about done. The two holding cells are just about done. I had to modify it to a solid ceiling as opposed to a ceiling like this, which would be easy to push up and tiptoe out. So they've sheetrocked and made a solid ceiling, more compliance with the DCJS. The prisoner bathroom is almost done. They have some work to do on the heating system. The judges' chambers aren't well heated right now. The furnace is fairly new, but it needs to have additional ductwork and upgrades in the ductwork put into there to give them better heat there. And actually the courtroom side of it's almost done, which is phase 2 of the whole project. Phase 3 will be the office part. So they're moving along, and I didn't get a chance, and I planned on checking to see where we were as far as our budget, as far as the expenses we've paid so far this year towards it, and I neglected, and I don't think Maria got a chance to do it for me, did you?
I could give you a quick update.
Okay.
Right.
We have about $12,000 left to pay, and it's being held as retainer for Roselle until such time as the punch list is totally complete. So we have that to pay still. And then besides that, we have about $380,000 or so left in the budget at this point. However, keeping in mind that we provided a very substantial budget for this project just because we didn't know how far we were going to go, what kinds of different things we might do. Being that we are in a very good place right now, I do not anticipate needing that money in its totality. I think we're doing very well on the budget.
What was the ballpark overall budget?
Overall budget we had was almost $1 million. We budgeted, we knew what Roselle's bid was, so that was an exact figure, and we budgeted an additional $500,000 for the interior.
Right. So the whole project should theoretically come under $1 million.
Absolutely.
Good, and that was our plan and hope.
Yes.
Good. Thank you.
Yes,
I know I spoke with you, I forgot to follow up with you.
Off the cuff.
Mrs. Moran, would you give your controller's report, please?
Yes. So the first item is our budget transfers for 2019. We have 6 items that we're moving money around just from departments that were falling short for various reasons as they're listed here. And it's being covered by monies that were already budgeted in other departments that were experiencing a surplus. So we're just moving money between departments. So if you want to take a look at those, if you have any questions about them.
No.
Wait, somebody want to make a motion to 2019 budget transfers 1 through 6, make it a motion.
I'll make a motion that we do the budget transfers. I believe it's items 1 through 6.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Pass.
The second category is personnel, and the first two items under that relate to unused leave accruals. In the first instance, Kirkland Woodcock is requesting that Frank Holden be paid for an unused personal leave day that he should have taken in 2019, but for extenuating circumstances could not. So board approval is required to grant that request.
I'll make a motion, we appoint that request. I did speak to Kurt and Frank about that situation, and Wilton nor Frankie can control when it snows.
I'll second.
Just on additional, he needs to use that personal leave in the future in a timely manner, not wait till the last day of the year to use it.
I disagree.
But he's a very important employee to Kirk, and...
I don't agree with that.
Things happen.
He takes his day on the 31st of the year. That's when he takes his day off.
But he can use vacation leave for that last day, so he doesn't, personal leave you lose. Vacation leave we can carry over.
So the policy says use it in 365 days.
Right, he didn't use it in 365 because he waited the last day to use it.
He put down for it on 364th day.
When I worked in the state, I lost it because I put in for the last day.
I understand that, but
And it's
if I say I'm taking December 31st off and I want to use my personal time,
Right.
and then I'm told that I have 2 days, and I say I want to use the 30th and the 31st back in November, and then it snowed.
But a public works employee who knows that the chances of snow on the last day of the year is very likely should not wait to use his personal leave for the last day. He can use a vacation day on the last day of the year if he wants a day off. Use his personal leave during the year, and I recommend that be done. Because I don't agree with paying personal leave time, because personal leave is not reimbursable as far as I'm concerned. And he needs to use his personal leaves during the year, use his vacation leaves on the end of the year in case it snows. He can carry over his vacation time. Personal leave is not supposed to be carried over, so now we're paying him for it. So I'm personally voting no on that.
Did you second that?
I did.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Opposed? Passed.
Okay. Item B, Mark Mikens is requesting that Scott Harrington be permitted to carry over unused vacation leave of 51 and a half days, and board approval is required to accept this request.
Hours?
I'm sorry, hours, yes. Put my glasses on now. 51.5.
He's really gonna get upset you talking days.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
Item C, Matt Hart has accepted the position of Assistant Recreation Director at the base hourly rate of $21.08. And this appointment was necessary, of course, to fill the vacancy that was created by Ross, who was the former Assistant Recreation Director. Matt Hart's position has been appointed effective January 21st of 2020, and board is requested to approve the appointment of Mr. Hart.
And I'll tell you, Matt was a very, very good hire.
Yes.
I think he's gonna really work out well there. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed.
The last item under personnel.
Yeah, forget that one. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Sue Baldwin is requesting board approval for overnight travel in Ellenville on March 22nd, 2020, to attend the New York State Town Clerks Association meeting.
Motion to
Somebody
approve.
will make... Second?
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Too late.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
And the third and last category of other, Kirkland Woodcock is requesting to sell hydraulic crimping machines, shelves, and fittings on Auctions International.
I thought he was looking to buy that.
I'll make a motion to allow him to sell. What are your crimping machines, Kurt?
For hydraulic fittings,
Brake lines? Like brake line fittings?
no, hydraulic ones.
Big ones. Oh, that's what that, you bought a new machine. All
Yeah, I just switched it.
right. I'll make a motion to allow him to put it on Auctions International.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and lastly, we received our JCAP grant for the court renovation of $5,943.15. This is just an informational item only. It doesn't need board approval because the board had previously approved the request to apply for the grant. So this is just the resulting money that we got.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you.
Anything else?
You can, Kurt, thank you and your guys for a great job the last couple days and for tomorrow. Thank them in advance.
I really should have.
It's a little slippery on Gaylor.
I should have informed the town board that this is a costly situation. I mean, we're getting back-to-back storms.
Part of doing business, Kirk, that's what happens. We have no control over it. We just want the roads safe for all the residents and all our visitors.
3 minutes are up.
We're
Like I said,
concerned about.
Gaylor Road was a little slippery. Oh,
I took care of the entranceway on my way in, so.
did you get that?
Honestly, the parking lot is extremely slippery. When you go out, it is very slippery.
Does anybody in the audience got anything they want to talk about or mention? What are you doing, a project? What are you doing?
I'm doing citizenship in the community and communications franchise.
Oh, that's great. Well, just pay attention to me and you learn.
Where's those scissors?
Mark, Mike has something.
You both do a good job. You both do a good job.
If you can do it.
It's good, we didn't know it.
We'll work it out.
I'll show you what my result is.
I want to do something, there you go.
Somebody want to make a motion to close the meeting? Everybody
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Y'all can
All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Everybody have a safe trip home. Scott?